Hello everyone. Life can wash away walls and roofs in a single night. Yet the heart still asks, will the new house last? Or will only Dee and Huyen's love stand firm against the storm? Wood may break, the wind may howl, and rain may flood the floor. But love, if true, can stand stronger than any foundation of stone. This is not just a story of a house, it is the story of two souls who refused to let the storm decide their fate. The afternoon sky was heavy with dark clouds, the kind that seemed to whisper warnings of rain and wind. In the small countryside village, the sound of hammers echoed from a half-finished wooden house. It was the house that Dee and Huyen had been building, together plank by plank, sheet by sheet, with calloused hands and quiet determination. For Huyen, the new house meant more than just shelter. It was hope, a promise of stability for her daughter Maya, who had grown up hearing the whistle of the wind through broken roofs and the crackle of storms seeping into their nights. For Dee, the house was silent testimony of love, a way to say with actions what he could not yet speak in words. That day, as the last metal sheets were being nailed to the roof, Maya ran barefoot across the yard, her laughter ringing through the humid air. "Uncle Dee, be careful," she called, her small voice trembling with both fear and admiration. Huyen, watching from below, felt her heart tighten. Every strike of Dee's hammer seemed to bind not just the roof above them, but also the fragile threads of her life together with his. Yet, as the first drops of rain fell, doubts weighed heavy on her heart. The storm that had destroyed their old shelter still haunted her. Would this house stand against the next? Or was the strength they truly needed not in wood and nails, but in love, trust, and resilience? When the rain began to pour, they all rushed inside the half-finished home. Water seeped through gaps, the walls shook under the wind, but inside there was laughter. Dee held the roof steady with his strong hands. Huyen gathered Maya into her arms, and for a moment, the storm outside felt small compared to the warmth within. Later, when the rain finally eased, Dee sat silently by the doorway, soaked but smiling. Huyen looked at him, her eyes glistening in the dim light. She realized then that even if the house someday fell, what truly mattered was the bond they had built, the kind of shelter no storm could destroy. So, would the new house last? No one could say for certain, but the love that grew quietly between Dee, Huyen, and Maya, that would stand firm, unshaken, against every storm that life brought their way. The next morning, the village was alive with the sound of hammers, saws, and voices calling across yards. Everyone was repairing what the storm had left behind. Roofs were patched, fallen trees cleared, and children played barefoot in the mud as if the rain had been a gift, rather than a curse. Inside their new home, Dee woke early. His back ached from the long hours of work on the roof, but he pushed the pain aside. He wanted to finish the walls, to make sure Huyen and Maya could finally sleep in peace. Huyen came out of the small kitchen, her hair tied back, carrying a steaming pot of sweet potato porridge. "You should rest a little longer," she told him gently, but Dee only smiled. "The house won't wait. The rain could return any day." Maya, still rubbing sleep from her eyes, climbed into Dee's lap with a shy grin. "Uncle Dee, when the house is finished, can I invite my friends here to play?" Her innocent question filled the room. With laughter, of course, Dee said, "This house is not only for living, it's for laughter, for learning, for joy." Later that afternoon, Huyen and Dee went to the forested hills to gather palm leaves and firewood. The path was slippery, lined with wild flowers bent low from the weight of the storm's rain. As they worked, Huyen found herself stealing glances at Dee. He carried the heavy load without complaint, his shirt soaked with sweat, his steps steady. A quiet thought stirred inside her. This man, who was once only a neighbor, now feels like the pillar of my life. By evening, when the sun dipped low and painted the sky with orange and gold, the three of them returned home together. The house, though still unfinished, already felt alive. The repaired roof no longer leaked. A small oil lamp flickered in the corner, casting soft light on the wooden walls. After supper, Maya fell asleep quickly, clutching her small notebook. Outside, crickets sang, and the world seemed at peace. Huyen sat by the doorway, watching Dee as he sharpened a tool in silence. Finally, she spoke. Her voice was quiet, almost trembling. "Dee, you've done so much for us. Sometimes I wonder why." Dee paused, set down the tool, and looked at her. His voice was calm but deep. "Huyen, life has storms for everyone. But when I see you and Maya, I see something worth protecting. Maybe I don't have all the answers, but I know one thing. As long as I'm here, I'll do whatever I can to keep you safe." Huyen lowered her gaze, her heart thundering louder than any storm. For years she had carried pain, distrust, and fear. But in that moment, sitting beside him under the quiet night sky, she felt something new, something fragile but real. Hope. And though no one knew if the house would last against future storms, Huyen began to believe that perhaps love, quiet, patient, and unwavering, was the foundation that would truly endure. The days after the storm were heavy with uncertainty. The new roof, patched with hurried repairs, still bore scars of the night when the wind had howled like a wild beast. Every creak of bamboo in the wind made Huyen's heart tighten, and every drop of rain that slipped through the thatch felt like a warning. But Dee did not let fear rule their home. Each morning, he rose before dawn, his hands calloused yet steady, rebuilding piece by piece. He worked not only with wood and nails, but with patience and faith. When Maya brought him cups of water, her small hands trembling with effort, he would smile and pat her head as if she were the very strength that kept him going. Huyen often stood quietly at the doorway, watching him. The sight of his broad back bent over the beams stirred something deep inside her, a mix of gratitude and tenderness she did not dare to name. She remembered the nights of loneliness she had endured before, when no one came to help, when every decision rested heavily on her shoulders alone. Now, Dee's presence was different. It was quiet, steady, and unwavering, like the roots of an old tree holding the soil against erosion. One evening, as the last rays of sunlight painted the fields gold, Dee sat down on the steps, his shirt damp with sweat. Huyen brought him a bowl of warm rice and a small plate of pickled vegetables. He looked at her, his eyes tired but gentle, and for a moment, there was no storm, no fear, only the fragile peace between two people who had carried too much pain. Maya broke the silence with her innocent voice. "Uncle Dee," she asked, her eyes shining. When the storms come again, will our house fall down? Dee paused. He did not want to lie. Maybe, he said softly, but even if the roof breaks, we will fix it again. What matters is that we stay together. If we stand side by side, no storm can truly take our home away. Huyen's eyes grew wet. She turned away quickly, but her heart knew that what Dee had just said was not only for Maya, it was for her, too. That night, as rain began to tap gently on the repaired roof, Huyen lay awake, listening. For the first time, she did not fear the storm. She realized that no matter what the sky brought, Dee's love was already the shelter she had been searching for all her life. In life, storms come in many forms. Some are made of rain and thunder, shaking the walls of our homes. Others are silent storms, loneliness, fear, loss, or hardship that test the strength of our hearts. The story of Dee, Huyen, and little Maya reminds us of one unchanging truth. While walls can break and roofs may fall, love is the one shelter that endures. Dee worked with calloused hands, not only building a house of bamboo and wood, but also building a sense of safety for those he cherished. Huyen, with her quiet resilience, held the family together with warmth and care. Maya, with her innocent laughter, filled the home with hope. Together, they showed that a house is more than walls and doors. It is the spirit of love and unity inside it. When storms threatened to destroy their small home, Dee and Huyen did not despair. They stood side by side, reminding us that true strength lies not in what we own but in the bonds we share. Even if the house one day falls, their love will stand firm, becoming the real foundation upon which life is built. This story teaches us that no matter how uncertain the future may seem, love can transform fragility into strength and despair into hope. A house may last for a season, but love, when nurtured with patience, sacrifice, and trust, lasts for a lifetime. So, dear listener, remember this. Walls may crumble, roofs may leak, and storms may come again, but love, real love, never breaks. It is the true home that no wind can sweep away. If you carry love in your heart, then even in the smallest house, you will live in abundance. And like Dee, Huyen, and Maya, you will find that no storm is strong enough to destroy the shelter of a family, bound together by love.